Morning everyone. Today we're learning what become in Daf Nun Vav. We're going to start at the bottom of Daf Nun Hey on the base. Let's see. By the wide lines. Tani Omar Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Yeshua said, Arba Dvarim, 4 things, Oisois and Potter, Medine Odom, you can't force him to pay in Bezdin, B'chai B'dine Shamayim. But for Dine Shamayim he's Chayv. Veiluin, these are the ones. Apurit Godel B'fnei Be'emes Chaveri, and the Beima ran away. He puts down the wheat of his friend towards the fire and he gets onto fire. Someone who rents Edim who are liars to be made. Someone knows a testimony about his friend and he doesn't go to Bezdin to be made for him. Said the Gemara, we just learned. He broke down the fence in front of the beima of his friend, and the beima ran away. If it's a strong koisel, he should pay b'dinei adam for breaking down the koisel. So the Gemara, so for breaking down the koisel is anyway going to fall, and for running away the behema is chayav only b'dinei shamayim because he didn't do it b'yodayim. We learned another thing. A koifef komosei shechavera who gets his comma, the wheat when it's growing, closer to the lake. What's the case? Now the fire managed of someone else came with a common wind. It's like I threw someone, if a fire is burning and I throw someone's something, his watch into the fire, I'll be chayav. So here he got it closer with common wind. It's like he put it in the fire, he should be chayav. Elo de matia beruach she'enu mitzuya. It came with uncommon wind, and therefore Medine Odom is potter because it's not common for such winds. But Medine Shamayim, at the end of the day, because of him, his friend's wheat went on fire. For Ra'ashi Omar, he has a new pshat. Tomon itma. Mishum deshavi tomon beish. There is a din that fire is only chayav for something that's uncovered, but something that is covered, let's say, with a sheet. You potter for anything that's underneath it. So there was a fire of Reuven that was coming to burn Shimon's pile of wheat, and Levi went and put a towel, a carpet all over the wheat, and now the whole pile of wheat is called Tomon, it's hidden, and therefore now Reuven won't have to pay for this. So we say about Levi who did this, he's chayev b'dinei shamayim, but he's potter b'dinei odom. And the when it says a koifef komosoi, is because when you put on some covering, it will bend it down to the ground. Omar, we learned asoicher eidei sheker eichidomi. What's the case? If Reuven brought Edim that Shimon eidei sheker, that Shimon owes him £100. So now he got £100, he should pay back the £100 to Shimon. We find out that the Eidei Sheker, why we say Potem Medine Odom, Elo Lechavre, it must be talking about that Reuven brought the Eidei Sheker that Shimon owes Levi money. And therefore, so even maybe Levi will have to get back the money, but Reuven, Medine Odom is not chayav. If he knows the Eidus for his friend and it doesn't made lo, be asking what we're talking about. If he has two people, two Eidim who know Eidus and not made Pshita, what's his Chiddush the Raiso? It's on first pasuk. If you don't say Eidus, you'll get punished. So it says clearly they chai b'dinei shamayim. Elo bechad. It's talking about one Eid. And Eid Echad is only Mechayev Shvuah. So if Eid comes and says Reuven owes Shimon money, so now Reuven says no, Reuven is Chayev Shvuah, and this guy didn't come and be made. So he's Chayev b'dinei Shamayim, but not b'dinei Odom. Ask them more question. But are there no more cases where you Chayev b'dinei Shamayim and Potem b'dinei Odom? Vayika, and then the Simen Oise Besam V'Shliach Haver Nishba. It's different cases where you Chayev b'dinei shamayim potem b'dinei odom. And let's see the cases. The first one is ha'oise melocha b'mei chatos. So mei chatos is water of chatos is sprinkled on someone who's tom and mace to make him kodesh, to make him tor. And if you do it in a melocha, it becomes possible. But don't change. Let's say doing a melocha, you could take this mei chatos, but it weighs 100 milliliters, and you weigh it on a scale. you put it on one side, and then on the other side you want to weigh 100 milliliters, so there's no difference in the water afterwards. You don't see any change. So it's a hezek she'ein nikar, so you potter. So potter medine odom v'chai b'dinei shamayim. V'aikan, I have another case, besam, that's in the brackets we learned before. I know since I'm almost with beimas chavera, someone who puts poison in front of his friend's animal, potter medine odom, you doesn't have to pay. In Bezdin, v'chai b'dinei shamayim, but medin shamayim he has to pay. V'aikan, we have another case, a sholeach es habeira, someone who gives the fire be'ad cher shoyte v'kotten, and potter, the din is potter medine odom v'chai b'dinei shamayim. If we have another case, why do we say only these four? V'aikan, I have another case. Amabis es chavera, someone who gives a shock to his friend, potter medine odom, you don't have to pay in Bezdin, v'chai b'dinei shamayim. V'aikan, I have another case, nishbar akadoi, his kad broken Rishus Rabim v'lo silko, and he didn't clean up the pieces. Noflo gmaloi, his camel fell and died. V'lo imido, and he left it there, and someone got hezek afterwards. Rameh mechai be'zekom even b'dinei odom. V'chomim say oimrim potter medinei odom v'chai b'dinei shamayim. So we have another case where it's like that. So the Gemara in there's many other cases where chai b'dinei shamayim potter medinei odom. V'hani, these four it's trichele, it's a bigger chiddush. Now we're going to go with each one and explain why it's a bigger chiddush. Ma'od the teima b'dinei shamayim nami lo yichayev kamash malon. You'd think in these cases, even b'dinei shamayim you'll be potter kamash malon they or chayev b'dinei shamayim. And why these are bigger chiddush? Now we're going to explain. A parrot got up b'fnei be'emas chavera. Ma'od the teima, you might have thought keven dele mister or koi, since we said it's a koisel, that's a ruah, that's a weak koisel that anyway needs to be broken down. My ovid, who would anyway break if I wouldn't break it. B'dinei shamayim nami lo yichayev. I won't be even chayev b'dinei shamayim kamash malon. That's the first case. Case number two. A koifif koma soy shel chaver nami. Ma'od the teima lema. He could say, mi hava yodana. Did I know the asti ruach she'einu metzuya, that wind, the uncommon wind, the hurricane would suddenly come? U'b'dinei shamayim nami lo yichayev. I won't be even chayev b'dinei shamayim kamash malon. They are chayev. Rav Ashi domanami tomunitma. Lefi Rav Ashi that it's talking about where he covered it, not beruach she'einu metzuya, he made it tomun. Ma'od the tema anoki sukisisin aloch. I covered it with a carpet that shouldn't get into fire. It should save you from the fire. U'b'dinei shamayim nami lo yichayev kamash malon. The b'dinei shamayim yichayev. V'asoiche edi shekenami. Ma'od the tema lema. He could say divrei Rabbi divrei Talmud divrei Moshoimim. Who do you listen to, the Rav or to the Talmud? For sure to the Rav. And Hashem said, you shouldn't be made edu sheker, so these people shouldn't have listened to me. U'b'dinei shamayim nami lo yichayev kamash malon. The b'dinei shamayim yichayev. If he knows the edus and he doesn't go to Bezdin, and we said Soma by Edechod, Nami Ma'od the tema mi emer dechi have a masadan ale, v'ad be made that Reuven schreibt shel money moida. Who said Reuven would be moida and he'd pay Shimon? Dilma hava mishtabel shekra. Maybe he would make a shvur l'sheker and he wouldn't pay. Within a shamayim nami lechayev, I didn't cause him any loss. Kamash malon, these four cases that even you'd think that b'din shamayim you know chayev. No, you are chayev b'din shamayim. We learned in the Mishnah, Nifritzo balaylo, he locked up this goat, the sheep, and it got broken into the night. It broke, the fence fell at night, or robbers broke through. So the din is, at night you're potter because you didn't know you're called like a oines. Omar Rabba, says Rabba, V'hu shechotra. That's talking about where the animal, when Nifritzu Balayla was digging to get out, and then the fence broke, fell down. Said the Gemara, V'lo chotra mai. What will be the din if it didn't dig, if it just fell by itself? Chayev, you'll be chayev echidomi. What's the case? If it's a strong wall, kiloi chotra mai chayev. Even if it didn't dig and it just fell by itself for some reason, why should be chayev? Mai avelele mevad. What should have it done? It's a strong wall. Elo, because it's somehow weak fence wall. Kichotra my potter. So what they dug, why should I make it potter? Tchilosa b'pshia, that it might fall by itself because it's a weak fence. V'soifa b'oines, they dug, that's called the oines, and it caused through the oines a pshia happened because the fence was weak and it broke. Who hanicha, very good lemando amad chilosa b'pshia v'soifa b'oines potter. Lefi the shit who holds that you're potter in such a case. Ela lemando amad chilosa b'pshia v'soifa b'oines chayev. That when you have a pshia at the beginning, and because of the pshia, oines happens, even that the chotra broke the fence, Michael and Meimar, what's Pshat and Rabba? So the Gemara Masnisim Bekoisel Bori. The Mishnah is talking about a strong wall. Vafilu lo yichotra, even if it fell by itself, you'll be potter. V'chit ma the Rabba, when did Rabba say v'husha chotra? I say feit ma, I was talking about the next part of the Mishnah. What case? Senicha b'chama, he left the cow or the sheep in the heat. Oy shemasel a chereshoy to the cotton, or he gave it to a chereshoy to the cotton to keep v'yotze v'ziko. And it was mazik chayev. So Omar Rabba v'afilu chotra, not v'husha chotra, even if it dug. Lo mi boy, not only echet eloi chotra, where he didn't dig the kula b'pshir, who that the whole thing is pshir because it's going to try getting out because it's hot or because it's a chereshoy to the cotton who don't know how to keep. Elo afilu chotra, even though there was the oinus and it dug. Nami, you still chayev. Mao the tema, you might have thought aval it chiloso b'shir soifu ba'oinus because it's chiloso b'shir they left it in the sun or gave it a chereshoy to the cotton with soifu ba'oinus they dug. Kumash malon the kula b'shir they even when the amat chiloso b'shir for oinus potter he'll be chayev because it's b'shir leaving in the sun. My timer the amalei made the yodas the cave in the shavkas b'chama since he left it in the sun kol tatztika deisle the mevad avda v'nafka anything he could do to go out, he will do, and therefore he will dig, he will do all it can to get out of this not good situation, and therefore it's tchilosa v'pshia v'soifa v'pshia, and therefore you'll be chayiv even if chotra. It said in the Mishnah, if the robbers took out the animal listim chayovim, the listim will be chayiv for the hezek that this animal does outside. Correct the Gemara Pshita. What's the chiddush? Kevan dafkua, since they took it out to steal it, it's now in their rishus, and it becomes theirs to be chayiv to anything that happens to it or anything that causes damage to anyone else. Lekol mili, to anything. So the Gemara lo tzricha, tzricha, we need it in a case the komulei be'apo, that they didn't literally pull out this behema, they just stood on the sides of this behema, and they had nowhere to go but to go out, and that's enough of a reason that's called that they'll be chayav now for hezek that caused, even that they did no meshicha or agbo. Kihod Omar Rabba, Omar Rav Nasna, Omar Rav, like Rabba in the name of Rav Masna in the name of Rav said, a mamid beimis chaver kormas chavero is someone who pulls and puts an animal of his friend on the field of his other friend, and he eats it and he causes damage. Chayev. So the Gemara Mamid, if you literally pulled it over there and put it there pshita, it's like hezek b'yadayim. So the Gemara tzricha de komlo be'apo. No, it's that even if he didn't do any meshicha agbo, only stood next to it and made it go only over there, that's enough of a reason that you'll be mechayev you to pay for the hezek. Omale Abaye Rav Yosef. Abaye is told to Rav Yosef, Ikisha Amar Tlon. You said over there that the din of Rabba Omar Rav Masna Omar Rav, they said Amamid Bemis Chaver Komas Chaver, it's where he hit it with a stick, and the chiddush is that hitting with a stick is like Meshicha, and that's the chiddush. Velistim Nami in our Mishnah as well, where it says Alistim Uitzu, it doesn't mean they did Meshicha, they hit it, they hit it with a stick, and the chiddush of the Mishnah is that Bimakish B'makil is like Meshicha, and you be chayav for hezek that's caused. Mosro l'roya nichnas haroya tachtov. He gave over to the shepherd's chayav now. Amri says the Gemara in this medrash tachtov the man. Under who does he become? Ilema tachtov the bal behema. If we're saying it, Reuven has a sheep and he gives it to Shimon the shepherd, and now Shimon is chayav for anything that happens instead of Reuven. Tanina chadazimno. We have this. It's already a mission that we learned earlier on. Mosro l'shoy mechinom, if Reuven has a be'ima and he gave it to a shoy mechinom, or to a shoyel, noise socho soicha, kulo nichnesu tachas habaylim, they all become responsible for the hezek that's caused instead of the bailim. So why do we need another Mishnah to tell you the same din? Elo tachtov the shoyma. It means that Reuven had this sheep, he gave it to Shimon to keep, and Shimon gave it to the shepherd, so Shimon's not chayav anymore. Fragt the Gemara, the Shoyme Kama, Shimon, the first Shoyme, Eftele Legamri, he's not involved anymore, and he's part of what happened. Leima Teavati Ufta de Rova, Lechur, let's it's a cash on what Rova said. Why? The Omar Rova, Shoyme, Shomosa, the Shoyme, Reuven who got something to keep, and he gave it over to Shimon, Chayev. Reuven's chayiv and everything because the Baal Abayis could say, I don't trust Shimon. You trust him, you deal with Shimon. I want it from you. You need to make me a shvur. And Shimon shvur is not good enough for me. You can't make a shvur because you're not there. Pay me, even if it was oinus. So here we'd seen the Mishnah not like that because we said Mosor Roye means a shoyme gave it to the Roye. Omanecharova, my Mosor Roye. What does it mean that he gave it to the shepherd? Lebarzile, to his apprentice of the shepherd. The Ucha the Roye lemeimsa lebarzile. That somehow the owner gave it to the shepherd, and the shepherd in our Mishnah, somehow the shepherd gave it to his apprentice. So then the Mishnah tells you that the apprentice is chayav and the roya is potter, and it's not kasha on shoyme shemosa l'shoyme because it's normal that the roya should give it to his apprentice. So we don't have a kasha on Rava. Some people say the opposite. We try to bring a raya to Rava from the Mishnah. No, we ask a kasha on Rava. Since it said he gave it over to a shepherd, that he gave it to anyone, to someone else, why does it say a shepherd especially? Shmamino, we could see from here, my Mosor Roya. It means Mosor Roya le Brazile, the shepherd gave it to his apprentice. The Uche the Roya le Meisa le Brazile. Because it's normal and everyone knows to give something animal to a shepherd, he might give it to his apprentice to look after. But if he gave it to Reuven, who's not shepherd, Reuven can't give it to Shimon, and even if he gave it to Shimon, Reuven will be chayiv. Leima Messiah Leili Rova, it's a raya to Rova, the Omar Rova, even if it's no case where it's normal to give it over. So the Gemara Amri Loi, no, we don't have a raya from the Mishnah. Dilma, it's a normal thing that it says a shepherd, that normally you give your animal to a shepherd to keep. But really, if you gave it to Reuven, who's not a shepherd, the same thing that Reuven can give it to Shimon, and Reuven will be potter, and we don't have no raya to Rova. Itma, we learned, Shema Aveda, someone who found a Veda and he's guarding it. Rabba says his din is like a Shemichinam, and Shemichinam Domi. He's like a Shemichinam, and he doesn't have to pay for Gneva Veda only for Pshia. Rav Yosef he has din like Shemisocha and is chayav also for Pshia and also for Gneva Veda Domi. Rabba Omar Shemichinam Domi. Why he doesn't get paid for looking after this Aveda, so he's a Shomer Chinam. Rav Yosef Amar Shomer Socha Domi. He's like a Shomer Socha. Why? And that money that he saves by not giving money to the Oni, because let's say he's busy taking this Aveda, and the Oni comes and tells him, I'm hungry, can you please give me money to eat? And he's busy doing the Aveda, Oisik b'mitzvah, Potter b'mitzvah, so he saves some money. So that saving that money is considered the payment. Ika de mefarshi. That's payment, and that's why it's chai for gneva Aveda. Ika de mefarshi ochi. Some people explain like this in Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef Omar, the reason why is the Shemisocha, Domi Kevan the Rachmona Shabde Bal Kolchei. Because when you say Aveda, the Torah forces you to take it. You can't say, I don't want to take this Aveda, I can't be bothered looking for the owner. The Torah forces you have to, it's a mitzvah. So therefore, Ilkach Shemisocha Domi, therefore he's a Shemisocha. And I saw, my father told me that the Achron explained that it goes together with what we said before. That together what we said, the payment is they don't have to give money to the Oni. But that's only because the Torah is Meshabet Bal Korchi to do it. So together with that you're forced to do it and you get paid, so you call the Shemesocha. Shkoyach. Have a nice day.